Hi friends, this is lecture number 33.1 and here in this lecture we are going to study the circuit operation of three-phase full wave controlled bridge rectifier. So this is the circuit diagram of full wave controlled bridge rectifier. Here six thyristors are arranged in the form of a bridge and here VA0, that is phase voltage of phase A, it is applied to the anode of thyristor T1 and cathode of thyristor T4. VB0 is applied to anode of thyristor T3 and cathode of thyristor T6, and VC0 is applied to the anode of thyristor T5 and cathode of thyristor T2. Here this whole arrangement of thyristor is connected in parallel with this load, and output voltage we get across this load. Here VA0 is the phase voltage of phase A, that is equals to Vm sin omega t. VB0 is the phase voltage of phase B, that is equals to Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree, and VC0 is the phase voltage of phase C, that is equals to Vm sin omega t minus 240 degree. Here we can write the RMS value of phase voltage as maximum voltage by root 2. So RMS value of phase voltage is Vm by root 2. And Vp is equals to VL by root 3, means phase voltage is equals to line voltage by root 3. So these are the basic formulas and they will be frequently utilized while calculating the parameters for this rectifier. So you need to remember all these formulas. Now, to understand the circuit operation of this rectifier, we need to understand the triggering sequence of thyristor. First we start with alpha is equals to 0. Here we will take alpha is equals to 0 for omega t is equals to 30 degree. Now carefully see this waveform. Here we will trigger one thyristor after each time when any of these waveform, that is waveform of VA0, VB0 or VC0, crosses the omega t axis. See, this red waveform is the waveform of phase A, this blue waveform is waveform for phase B, and this yellow waveform is waveform for phase C. Now see, we will trigger one thyristor after 30 degree from 0 crossing or omega t crossing of a waveform, as alpha is equals to 0 for omega t is equals to 30 degree. Here this red waveform crosses the omega t axis at omega t is equals to 0. So we will trigger a thyristor at omega t is equals to 0 plus 30, that is 30 degree. See, this blue waveform, it crosses 0 at this yellow waveform, it crosses 0 at omega t is equals to 60 degree. Okay, so VC0 crosses 0 at omega t is equals to 60 degree. So we will trigger the next thyristor as at omega t is equals to 60 plus 30, that is equals to 90 degree. And this blue waveform, that is waveform of phase B, crosses 0 at 120 degree. So we will trigger the next thyristor at omega t is equals to 120 plus 30, that is 150 degree. So we will trigger the thyristors at omega t is equals to 30, omega t is equals to 90, omega t is equals to 150 degree, and so on. So now question arises, which thyristor we have to trigger? So now see, after omega t is equals to 30, we can see that VA0 is the most positive waveform. And this VA0 is applied to the anode of thyristor T1 and cathode of thyristor T4. So this positive potential will make thyristor T1 forward bias and this thyristor T4 reverse bias, because it is applied to the anode of thyristor T1 and cathode of thyristor T4. So here we will only trigger the forward biased thyristor, and here forward biased thyristor is thyristor T1. So we will trigger thyristor T1 at omega t is equals to 30 degree. Now see, at omega, after omega t is equals to 90 degree, we can see that the waveform of VC0 is most negative waveform, and VC0 is applied to the cathode of thyristor T2 and anode of thyristor T5. So here thyristor T2 is forward bias and T5 is reverse bias. So we will only trigger the forward bias thyristor. Here T2 is forward bias, so we will trigger thyristor T2 at omega t is equals to 90 degree. Now at omega t is equals to 150 degree, we can see that after omega t is equals to 150 degree, VB naught becomes the most positive waveform. And this VB naught is applied to the anode of thyristor T3 and cathode of thyristor T6. So when this positive potential reaches the anode of thyristor T3, it will make thyristor T3 forward bias and T6 reverse bias. So when T6, at this point, we will trigger the forward thyristor T3 only. So at omega t is equals to 150 degree, we will trigger the thyristor T3. So this is the triggering sequence of thyristor. In this way, we will trigger the next thyristor. So at omega t is equals to 30 degree, we will trigger thyristor T1. At 90 degree, we will trigger thyristor T2, and at omega t is equals to 150 degree, we will trigger thyristor T3. Now let's start the calculation of output voltage for alpha is equals to 0. See, here we will assume that thyristor T6 was already conducting. So this T6 is already conducting. See, this T6 is already conducting, and at omega t is equals to 30 degree, we will trigger the thyristor T1. So when thyristor T1 is triggered, so here T1 T6 will conduct, and we will get this path of circuit. It includes both thyristor T1 and T6. On applying KVL on this path, we will get V0 is equals to VAB, that is VA0 minus VB0. Here VA0 is Vm sin omega t. Here omega t is equals to 30 degree, so we will get Vm sin 30 minus VB0. VB0 is Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree. Here omega t is equals to 30 degree, so we put here, we get Vm sin 30 minus 120 degree. So here this 30 minus 120 degree is minus 90, and value of sin minus 90 is minus 1. This minus minus will get plus, so we will get 1.5 Vm, because sin 30 is 1 by 2, so we will get 1.5 Vm. If we find the value of this voltage in per unit, then we will get V0 by Vm is equals to 1.5, that is per unit voltage. So here you can see that output voltage V0 is equals to 1.5 for omega t is equals to 30 degree. Now see the case when omega t is equals to 60 degree. When omega t is equals to 60 degree, then again these thyristor T1 and T6 are conducting. When T1 T6 conduct, we get this path, and here Va0 is equals to V0 is equals to Va0 minus VB0, that is equals to Vm sin 60 minus Vm sin 60 minus 120 degree, and it is equals to root 3 Vm. If we write the value in per unit, then we will get V0 by Vm is equals to root 3. So here we can see that we get V0 is equals to root 3 per unit for omega t is equals to 60 degree. Now at omega t is equals to 90 degree, we will trigger the thyristor T2. I already told you that at omega t is equals to 90 degree, we will trigger the thyristor T2. So when we will trigger the thyristor T2, then T6 will automatically go in reverse blocking mode. Now here, after omega t is equals to 90 degree, T1, T2 will conduct. So when T1, T2 will conduct, then what we will get? See here, when T1 and this thyristor T2 conduct, then we get output voltage V0 is equals to Va0 minus Vc0, and Va0 is equals to Vm sin omega t. It means Vm sin 90 minus Vm sin 90 minus 240 degree, because Va0 is Vc0 is equals to Vm sin omega t minus 240. So Vm sin 90 minus 240 degree, that is equals to 1.5 Vm. So again we are getting 1.5 Vm. So in terms of per unit, we can write V naught by Vm is equals to 1.5. So here in this waveform you can see that for omega t is equals to 90 degree, we get 1.5. Now at omega t is equals to 120 degree, again this thyristor T1 and T2 will conduct, and we get Va naught minus Vc naught as output, that is equals to Vm sin 120 degree minus Vm sin 120 minus 240 degree. So in this way we get root 3 Vm, and in case of per unit we get V naught by Vm is equals to root 3. So again we will get root 3. So in this way we get this waveform at output voltage. Now we will see the circuit operation for alpha is equals to 30 degree. Now when alpha is 30 degree, omega t is equals to 30 plus 30, that is 60 degree, because we take omega alpha is equals to 0 for omega t is equals to 30 degree. Again assume that thyristor T6 was already conducting, and I already told you how to decide the triggering sequence of thyristor in my previous slide. So using all these concepts, at omega t is equals to 60 degree. So here we will trigger the one thyristor at omega t is equals to 60 degree. That is 60 degree after zero crossing, because here alpha is 30 and omega t is equals to 60. So here zero crossing of red waveform is at omega t is equals to 0. So we will trigger first thyristor at 0 plus 60, that is equals to 60 degree. So here thyristor T1 will be triggered because Va0 is the most positive waveform, and Va0 is applied to thyristor T1 and T4. It will make thyristor T1 forward bias and T4 reverse bias. So here we will trigger only thyristor T1. So when we trigger thyristor T1 and T6 was already conducting, so we will get T1 T6 conducting, and we will get this circuit path. This is T1 and this is T6. So we get output voltage V0 is equals to Va0 minus Vb0, that is equals to Va0 is equals to Vm sin omega t. So we put omega t is equals to 60, we get Vm sin 60, and Vm sin Vb0 is Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree. Put omega t is equals to 60, we get Vm sin 60 minus 120 degree. So on solving this we get root 3 Vm, and in terms of per unit we can write V0 by Vm is equals to root 3, that is per unit voltage. So here we can see that for omega t is equals to 60 degree, we get this point, that is root 3. Now at omega t is equals to 90 degree, what happened? T1 T6 again are conducting, we are getting output voltage V0 is equals to Va0 minus Vb0 again, because no other thyristor is fired yet. That's why we will again get T1 and T6 conducting, and output voltage is equals to Va0 minus Vb0, that is equals to Vm sin 90 minus Vm sin 90 minus 120 degree. Here we put omega t is equals to 90 degree. So on solving this we get 1.5 Vm, because sin 90 is 1 and sin minus 30 is minus 1 by 2. So we will get minus 1 plus 1.5 Vm. This minus minus is plus. So in the terms of per unit we can write V0 by Vm is equals to 1.5 per unit. So here we can see that we get 1.5 per unit for omega t is equals to 90 degree. Now we have to trigger one thyristor at omega t is equals to 120 degree. See how? We can see that this yellow waveform, that is waveform of Vc0, crosses 0 at omega t is equals to 60 degree. So for alpha is equals to 30, it means omega t is equals to 60. We have to trigger the next thyristor after 60 degree from 0 crossing. So 60 degree after this omega t is equals to 60 is 60 plus 60 120 degree. So now here it is time to trigger the next thyristor, and we can see that at omega t, after omega t is equals to 120 degree, this yellow waveform is the most negative waveform. So at omega t is equals to 120 degree, this yellow waveform is most negative, and this is Vc naught, and Vc naught is applied to thyristor T5 and T2. It will make thyristor T2 forward bias and T5 reverse bias. So only thyristor T2 will conduct. So we will trigger only thyristor T2. So when we trigger thyristor T2, then T6, which was already conducting, it get automatically in reverse blocking mode. Now after omega t is equals to 120 degree, T1 T2 will conduct. So here see, here after 120 degree, T1 T2 will conduct. So when T1 T2 conduct, T1 and this is T2, we get V naught is equals to Va naught minus Vc naught, that is Vm sine 120 degree minus Vm sine 120 minus 240 degree, because here omega t is 120 degree. On solving this we get root 3 Vm, and in terms of per unit we can write V naught by Vm is equals to root 3, that is per unit voltage. So here we can see that at omega t is equals to 120 degree, we get this root 3 by 2 Vm. Now it is the value after 120 degree. It means we see here, if you see at this point, here T1 and T6 were conducting, and if we trigger thyristor T2 at this point, that is omega t is equals to 120 degree, then in after omega t is equals to 120 degree, T1 T2 will conduct. So just after 120 degree, T1 T2 were conducting. Okay, T1 T2 were conducting just after 120 degree, and just before 120 degree, T1 and T6 were conducting. Just before 120 degree, T1 and T6 were conducting. So if we write the values just before 120 degree, so just before 120 degree, we can see that V naught was equals to, because T1 T6 were conducting, see here T1 and T6 were conducting, we get Va naught minus Vb naught is equals to V naught. So V naught is equals to Va naught minus Vb naught, that is equals to root 3 by 2 Vm. It means just before 120 degree, T1 and T6 were conducting, and we get root 3 by 2 Vm, and after 120 degree, just after 120 degree, when T1 and T2 are conducting, we get output voltage that is equals to root 3 per unit. It means at 120 degree, this voltage jumps from root 3 by 2 to root 3. So here we can see that at 120 degree, transition of voltage takes place from root 3 by 2 to root 3. So this is very important, and you need to remember this. So in this way we will get this waveform of output voltage. Now we will see the circuit operation for omega t is equals to 90 degree, that is alpha is equals to 60 degree, because for alpha is equals to 60 degree, omega t is 90 degree, because we take alpha is equals to 0 for omega t is equals to 30 degree. Now again we will consider T6 was already conducting. So here we will trigger the first thyristor at omega t is equals to 90 degree, because we will trigger the one thyristor after 90 degree from zero crossing. For this alpha is equals to 60 degree. So here we will trigger the first thyristor at omega t is equals to 90 degree, that is omega t is equals to 0 plus 90, that is 90, and we will trigger the next thyristor after zero crossing, that is zero crossing of this yellow waveform is at omega t is equals to 60 degree. So we will trigger the next thyristor T2 after 90 degree from this 60 degree, that is 150 degree. So we will trigger the next thyristor at 150 degree. So now when thyristor T1, now T6 was already conducting, it is assumed. So when we trigger thyristor T1 at omega t is equals to 90 degree, So here we will trigger the thyristor T1 and here the thyristor T2. Okay. So when we trigger thyristor T1 at omega t is equals to 90 degree, then T1 T6 will conduct and we get this path. So if we apply KVL on this path, we get V naught is equals to VA naught minus VB naught, and if we put omega t is equals to 90 degree in VA naught minus VB naught, then we will get Vm sin 90 minus Vm sin 90 minus 120 degree. Vm sin 90 is 1 and sin 90 minus 120 degree is sin minus 30, that is minus 0.5. So we will get 1.5 Vm. In terms of per unit, we can write V naught by Vm is equals to 1.5. So here we can see that at omega t is equals to 90 degree, this is 1.5. Now at omega t is equals to 120 degree, again these thyristor T1 T6 will conduct and we will get V naught is equals to VA naught minus VB naught, that is equals to root 3 by 2 Vm. So in terms of per unit, we get root 3 by 2 per unit. So here we will get root 3 by 2. Now at omega t is equals to 150 degree, this thyristor T2 was triggered. Now here see carefully, when thyristor T2 was triggered at omega t is equals to 150 degree, so after 150 degree T1 and T2 will conduct. After 150 degree T1 and T2 will conduct, and before 150 degree T1 and T6 were conducting. Okay, before 150 degree T1 and T6 were conducting. So when this thyristor T2 is triggered, then just after 150 degree, it means just after 150 degree T1 T2 were conducting. So when T1 T2 are conducting, then we get output voltage V naught. See, this T1 is conducting and this T2 is conducting, so we get output voltage VA naught minus VC naught. So we get Vm sin 50 minus Vm sin 50 minus 240 degree, that is 1.5 Vm. So in terms of per unit, we can write V naught by Vm is equals to 1.5 per unit. But just before 120 degree, T1 T6 were conducting. Here we can see that just before 120 degree, T1 T6 were conducting. So when T1 T6 were conducting, see, when T1 and this T6 were conducting, then we will get output voltage VA naught is equals to VA naught minus VB naught. So VA naught minus VB naught is equals to Vm sin 50 minus Vm sin 50 minus 120 degree, that is equals to 0. So here we will get V naught by Vm is equals to 0 per unit. So here you can see that at omega t is equals to 150 degree, V naught is equals to 0. So in this way we get these repeated waveforms. So now what is the conclusion of all these waveforms? Here we can see that these are the waveforms we are getting for alpha is equals to 0. And here we can see that minimum value of this waveform is 1.5 per unit. For alpha is equals to 30, we get these waveforms, and here minimum value of these waveforms is root 3 by 2. And for alpha is equals to 60, in my previous slides I told you that for alpha is equals to 60 degree we get this waveform, and minimum value of these waveforms is 0. So here minimum value is 1.5, here minimum value is root 3 by 2, and here it becomes 0. It means as we are increasing the value of alpha, then minimum value of waveform is decreasing. Now what happens if alpha is greater than 60 degree? So if alpha is greater than 60 degree, then we will get minimum value of output voltage negative. So here you can see that minimum value of output voltage is negative. Now here two cases are arising. If alpha is equals to 90 degree, 90 degree, that is greater than 60 degree, And if load is R type, for resistive load, we never get the negative part of waveform. This has already explained in my previous lecture. So in case of R load, we will not get this negative part, only we get this positive part. So here we can see that we get a discontinuous waveform. But in case of L load, we get this negative part. So we get this waveform. Okay. So it means for resistive load and alpha greater than 90 degree, alpha greater than 60 degree, it means when two conditions are fulfilled, first is load is resistive type and alpha is greater than 60 degree, then waveform is discontinuous. And for all other cases, waveform is continuous. So this waveform is discontinuous when load is R type and alpha is greater than 60 degree. So this is the conclusion. Here, what more conclusions we can draw from this lecture? That first is each thyristor is conducting for 120 degree. It is already explained. And when each thyristor conduct, then current through thyristor flows. So here we can see that this is the triggering sequence. Here we can see that T1 conducts from 30 to 150 degree, and when thyristor T1 conduct and load is inductive type, then we get constant current across thyristor T1. And here thyristor T4 conduct from 240 to 310 degree, that is again for period of 120 degree. And when load is inductive type, we get constant current across this thyristor. So we get source current for 240 degree. Here source current is shown here. So this is the waveform of source current, and the source current will flow when a thyristor conducts. So here T1 conducts for this period. So this cycle of source current we get. So you need to remember this waveform because it will be utilized in my next lecture when we will calculate the parameters for this rectifier circuit. Now second conclusion is for alpha less than 60 degree, V0 is continuous for both R and RL load, and for alpha greater than 60 degree, V0 is continuous for RL load and V0 is discontinuous for R load. Or in simple words we can say that waveform is discontinuous if and only if alpha is greater than 60 degree and load is R type. So this is the condition for discontinuous waveform, and for remaining all other conditions waveform is continuous. So this is all about this video. In my next lecture we will study the parameter calculation for this rectifier circuit. Till then, thank you. Jai Shri Ram.